let me do this. It sounds like you guys have like watched through my content. Obviously, you guys know that I'm at least halfway decent at what I do, but let me just like catch you up to speed quickly. And then I'll walk you through a strategy that I'm confident will work for you guys to get you to the 100K a month. Is that cool? Cool. You guys think I'm missing anything from the conversation, or do I have a good understanding where you're at, where you're looking to go, all the nitty gritty? But to kind of catch you guys up how we got here, right? Like I started 5 years ago as a sales rep. So I had one job, get on calls, close deals. That was it. And obviously, if you're only wearing one hat for 12 to 16 hours a day, every day for years on end, you can get really good at that skill. Right. And so the companies were booking me, I worked for one company. We scaled that from 300,000 to 1.7 million a month in 2.5 years. I was their number one closer, turned into their head of sales. We were on the Inc. 5000 2 years in a row. But I've always been an entrepreneur. And so as I talked to thousands of people and I became really, really good at sales, I didn't just stop there. I started asking higher level intelligent questions about chargebacks, refunds, operations, systems, automations, leadership. And I just started like asking the CEO of this company or COO, like really understanding, learning, and developing my skill set. I kind of outgrew that company. They started making decisions that were just really out of alignment for me. I'm big on integrity and alignment, and I can't sleep good at night not believing in what I'm selling, especially if I'm selling hundreds of thousands of dollars of this program every single month. Right? Like my best month ever, I did 485K in sales 1 month by myself. I can't sleep good at night knowing I just extracted 485K from people and enrolled them into a shitty program. Right? So the program was great, started making some shifts. I left. I met this guy by selling him into that program, and I partnered up with him, and I took him from 25,000 a month to 250,000 a month in 10 months. And then he introduced me to this girl, and I took her from 100,000 a month to 550,000 a month in 14 months. Right. And so as I was scaling these two companies, there was a little bit of overlap for a couple months until I left him and went full time with her. A bunch of my friends, my network, old people I knew, they started reaching out to me like, dude, I'm seeing you scale these companies. Like, I need help. I have leads. I can't close deals. And so I started just taking these one-off projects. The problem with this girl is I was making like 40, 50K a month, like in cash personally. The problem was she had Stripe payments in a day that were as much as I was making in a month. And I was the one driving all the revenue, doing all the work. She was just kind of the face of the company. And I was like, dude, what am I doing? Like, fuck this, right? Like, I'm selling myself way short. So last November, it's 11 months, almost a year now. Last November, I left and I was like, yeah, I'm going full time with my own coaching company. And then that's when I just went full time, closesales.com, developed the offer, launched it, and had a lot of fun since then. Right. And so for you guys specifically, there's 3 things that we need. Mindset is not one of them, but mindset is also everything. So it's interlaced into all these things. Like I can give you the best script, the best systems, the best everything, but if you don't believe it's going to work, like it won't. Right. So mindset is paramount. It's key. Like I had somebody DM me today on Instagram because they saw my client just won the Olympia, and he was talking about the mindset work I did with him to get him prepped for the Olympia. Right. And he's like, dude, you're a mindset coach? I'm like, kind of, not really. Like, I don't market myself as a mindset coach, but we will be working on mindset around raising prices, leadership, scaling, etc., through and through. Right. But the first thing we need to do is the sales script. I put script in quotes because scripts don't work. It's really a framework that you guys can take to every single call. And I really like what you said. It's like, hey, I like the NEPQ thing because I kind of know where I'm at in the call. That's exactly what my framework does. I call it the RFPDP method. Basically stands for rapport, frame, pain, discovery, and pitch. And each of those sections have their own rules of engagement, but you always know where you're at in the call. And then you know the rules of engagement. Hey, during discovery, I don't make statements. It's just question, answer, ping pong back and forth. I don't make any statements unless it's to handle an objection, right? Rapport, how's the week going for you so far? Where are you located? Same questions I asked you guys, right? So there's these rules of engagement for each section. And when you know where you're at, it allows you to operate within those parameters to make sure that you're successful, and they give you a credit card at the end of the call. So I'll sit down with you guys one-on-one, and I will customize the entire RFPDP method for you, your ideal clients, your offers, and your price points. So you guys feel confident in it. You're like, fuck, dude, this script makes a lot of sense. Like this is perfect. I know what to do. I know what to say. You two are on the same page, which is very important, right? We can't have a good metric of close rate if you guys are doing two different things.
Exactly. Yeah.
We get you guys on the same page. So you guys are both doing and saying virtually the same thing, but obviously it's being customized for each prospect. That's why my clients have done over $100 million in sales, because I don't give anyone a script and say, hey, read this. It worked for this guy. It should work for you. Like, it won't, because
Mhm.
prospects are dynamic and they're ever changing. Some are masculine, some are feminine, some are rich, some are poor, some are self-deprecating and victims. Other people aren't, right? They're all different. And so you have to handle those different prospects with different energy.
Mhm.
You have to handle the quality of the questions that you ask differently based on the prospect. Some people, it's like, hey, what do you make? How much you make every month? Because they're just masculine and direct. And let's be like, yeah, 10 grand a month. Other people, you have to finesse that question. Hey, by the way, what do you do for work? How long you been doing that? Do you like it?
Mhm.
How much money do you make doing that? Right. So we model based on the prospect, but either way, the end result is the same.
Sure.
Does that make sense? Just like on the sales script, first piece, get you guys dialed in and bump the close rate up to 40% as quickly as possible.
Yeah, I think if
Yeah.
we like kind of just hitting on the head, right? Just like based on what we're at right now, we're doing different things, so it's like if we have something that we're both structurally following, at least we can know it's like, well, what did you say different in the call? Like, where were we at this point? And then that's where I'm like having confusion with him. I'm like, okay, if you didn't record the call, like I can't tell you where we have to go back and fix if you're doing something different each time. Yeah, it makes 100% sense.
And the problem is when you do something wrong, but it works and they buy, you're like, oh, it works. And
Mhm.
then it doesn't work for anyone else. And then you're like, fuck, it doesn't work. But you've already burned 12 leads to figure that out. So
Mhm.
I can just come in. I've worked with 350 plus coaches. I've reviewed hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of sales scripts and sales calls, offers, price points, etc. And I can say, this will work. 1000% confidence, this will work. But I want to make sure it's built in alignment for you guys, because everybody's a little bit different. Everybody's a little bit different of a style, right? Maybe one of you guys want to ask this question in rapport, and the other one of you is like, I don't really like that question. Can I ask this? No problem. It's going to get the same result, but it's going to be pretty damn close to the same.
Mhm.
Once we fix it, that's all we did together. You guys will close at 40%. If that's the only thing we did together, you guys can close at 40%, no problem.
Mhm.
Any other questions there on kind of step one?
Yeah, that covers the step one. You hit it. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Cool. Second thing we need to do is we now need to support these sales calls and the sales script with sales systems. Okay. So we want to look at your calendar questions, whether it's the type form, where it's the inbound, or the actual booking questions, right? Like, what questions are you asking? How are you qualifying people? Do we want to build routing forms? Meaning we can use technology and automations through something like Calendly, where if they are a non-qualified prospect, it automatically routes them away from you and just to a thank you page with a free training. And then if they're a decently, maybe potentially, possibly okay prospect, they go to a 15-minute call. So they're not wasting an hour. And then if all the boxes are checked, they go to an hour call. We can set that up in 15, 20 minutes. Right
Mhm.
now, you have Calendly routing people to where they need to go based on the quality of the answers they give you in the forms. Right? What are we doing for a post call booking page to increase show up rates and getting people indoctrinated into who we are? Like when they book on Calendly, where are we redirecting them? Is there a post booking video? Hey, thanks for booking a call. Here's what we're going to do on our call. Here's who we work with. Here's who we don't work with. Right? We specialize in helping these men accomplish this, boom, boom, boom. And then if they're not a good fit, then they can watch them like, oh, fuck, I'm a woman. Like, this isn't for me. Cancel. Great.
Mhm.
Right. And then how do we indoctrinate people with our testimonials, getting them excited, building credibility, et cetera, so they actually show up to the call and buy? Reminder emails, reminder texts, CRMs, you guys get the point. There's an entire ecosystem of sales systems that will support you guys in your growth. These are the systems I installed for all these companies. This is how we were able to scale so quickly without ever losing the value that our clients were getting from the program. Client success has to be number one. And if we don't build these systems, we become so inundated with sales and doing so many things manually that we just don't have enough time in the day to serve our clients at the highest level. And then they stop getting results. They stop giving us testimonials and referrals. And then the program just and it dies.
Yeah, like, sorry to cut, but right now we have so we have another business coach right now as well. And so like our system in terms of like, okay, here's your here's your Instagram, here's your link in bio, uh type form application, go through, like we have that kind of setup, but not on like the automation part of, I don't know
Booking the call.
yeah, if that's something that you guys have. Like we do have like, active campaign and like sending an email right after they finish the type form. Hey, here's the link to book our call type of thing. Book a call if you're interested. If not, like at the end of the application form, we have it saying like text me personally, because it just comes straight to my phone number, and I just found it easier like doing the inbound leads. Like, okay, I'm just gonna, if I can handle it on my own phone, like that's where I've seen the most happen. But if it can get to a point where calls are being booked maybe per se automatically, or if we do have to do the outreach, it's very just, kind of touch and, affirm basically with them and then get them booked into a call. But we do have like a system through the DM scripts, like we have those kind of systems set in place. I think the biggest, bottleneck in that point that we're at right now is more so, again, like we can get them to show up to a call. On the call is the biggest thing, I think, for us.
Yeah. So when they book a call, what's the confirmation page?
So at the end of so we text them. So like say we're in the DMs or with them, or we're in the personal text messages with them, we have them book the call
Through
and then
Calendly.
through Calendly, and it's typically either the next day or sometimes even that day. And then we're like, hey, text us when you're done. They say, okay, I'm done. I just booked a call for this time. Okay, dope. See you in a couple hours. And then we're just like, okay, send a follow-up text with them. Hey, they have this call booked. I looked through who the calls are for the day. Like, okay, I'm just gonna text them real quick. Hey, see you on our call later on today. Yep, I'll be there. Awesome, dope. Boom, get on the call. And it's very just like in that sense manual.
Yeah. Which can't work at scale.
Sure.
Like you'd have to have 3 full-time VAs managing that. You know what I mean? And then so it's like it's super simple, right? Like if you look, and I can show you an example, but like you guys could take an hour and build out a post-call booking redirect page. So after they book through Calendly, instead of just going to the generic, your meeting's confirmed, they exit out, it takes them, it redirects to a page, a landing page that has a video that's like, hey, great, thanks for booking a call. Excited to connect with you. Here's what we're going to do on our call. Just so you know, we've helped this many men accomplish this, lose this much weight, boom, boom, boom. Testimonials fucking galore. And then they're like, dude, these guys are the shit. Like, what
Yeah,
the
and I
fuck?
think that's, sorry to cut you off, but I think that's exactly like, for example, like you didn't text us to hop on this call today. It was like confirmed through the emails. Like we saw the emails. Okay, cool. Showing up. Cool. Yeah, it's like you didn't necessarily have to manually get a text to we didn't have to text your personal phone number to
Yeah.
show up. Well, I think that also loses a little bit, not necessarily loses, but like kind of lowers the credibility instead of like you're saying redirecting to from Calendly instead of that post booking page. It's going to a video, testimonials galore. It just makes it more easier to close on the deal when it's like, oh, okay, I've seen all these things. Makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like the way my brain operates, you make $0 a month or $1 million a month. I don't have it in between. Like you're either dead or you make $1 million a month. And so it's like if you start thinking like that, if we were to make $1 million a month, you know how many fucking people we'd have to text? Right? Do you know how big of a cluster? Like, was this John or was this Mike? Like it would just be a disaster in simple scales. And so we want to make it simple. Like all those emails you got from me, like, dude, I wrote those a long time ago. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like I didn't have to like, oh fuck, let me put together something for these guys so they can like show up to the call. Like, and it's all automated and it's all done.
Right.
Obviously, this is why number one is the sales script. We can fix the systems later. I'm not telling you guys, hey, shut down the business for 30 days and let's redo some systems. Like, no, let's fix the close rate first. But as you start enrolling way more clients, double the amount of clients, somebody has to go fulfill those clients. So you guys are going to create bottlenecks. So that's where the systems alleviate those bottlenecks. So we don't have to do so much manual work.
Sure.
Balls are going to get dropped when you do manual work because you can't do it forever. So you're going to have to outsource it to someone else. Then you're going to have to manage that person. They're not going to care and do it as good as you guys. Now you're firing them and you got to, it creates a clusterfuck later on.
Yeah. So that is the beauty in the automation for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we got the script, close rate goes to 40% plus. right? We have the systems to support the influx of new clients and making sure the sales process is dialed in with everything we just talked about. The final piece is now how do we really scale this and turn on the burners, right? What does the offer look like? Can we even fulfill $100,000 worth of clients, or do we maybe need to redo the offer? Do we need to build out some modules to support it? Do we need to add a group call or two per week to support clients? Do we need to cut back on one-on-one calls? Are we letting people email us and some people text us and some people hit us on IG? You can't scale that, right? So get rid of all of them and pick one. So we have one method of communication with our clients. So how do we scale the company to where you guys can make 100, or you could make $500,000 a month and not need to go hire a support staff of 87 people?
Right. And what we're doing right now is
it cool if we
thankfully,
share that?
yeah,
Like what we have currently going on right now?
yeah. So what we're doing right now is we do have Trainerize, so that helps out a lot when it comes to the programming. Like we have that squared away. We do private Facebook group where once they're enrolled, they get into the private Facebook group. We're able to nurture them there. They're able to join the Zoom calls that we have 3 times a week. So we do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, group one-on-one calls. So that makes it very simple when it comes to fulfillment. Like they're not just left hanging. We have an onboarding process where we book another call for the next day, make sure everything's good with them, and they get to meet both of us at the same time and really get like indoctrinated into the program. So when it comes to fulfillment, I don't necessarily see like a huge problem with that because it is all online. It's not necessarily like emailing one-on-one, like you were saying, texting them back.
Although
and
we do
forth.
have some clients that
Right.
like, since we're just like, we're so personal, like, yeah, we'll be there, like, we'll help you whatever you need. Like, here's my personal cell phone number. It would be nice, obviously, just to keep everybody in the system so that, it works this way specifically.
Yeah. And so that's great, right? Trainerize, cool. Facebook group, cool. And then you guys are doing 3 times a week group calls. Cool. And then you're doing a one-on-two onboarding call with both of you guys, right?
Typically, it would actually just be one of us. Like, if I close, he takes the onboarding. If he does the close, vice versa.
Oh, that's cool. I like that. And how long is that onboarding call?
It's like 30 minutes.
Okay. So 30-minute onboarding call. And then what do you guys have in terms of like CRM?
So our main CRM right now is Typeform. So we're utilizing just like it has a lot of information because we do ask like a significant amount of questions to make sure that they're fully interested in coming in and like they're a qualified client through the time that it takes to fill out the application. So it's like 5-7 minutes to fill it out. First name, last name, phone number, email, age.
It's on Typeform. Same as like or something like that. Cool. So like you guys will need a CRM. If we want to scale to 100 grand a month, we need a CRM. It's going to cost you $59 a month. Like we need deal stages, right? You don't want to be giving out your personal phone number to all these people. So we get you like a business phone number. It's 99 cents a month, right? So we can text, call, and email from the CRM. Again, because at scale, how do you remember to follow up with these people? If you guys are taking 70 calls and 30, 40 of them tell you no, like where do we look at our hot leads, right?
Yeah.
Like we need to organize these things, and it's like $59 a month. Like we're doing 100K, we can afford it. So we need a CRM, right? It's like, what is our process for getting testimonials, for upgrading people, for sending people to the next program, or doing a continuation offer? How do we go out and get referrals and ask people for referrals? So like when I say scale, like first company 1.7 million a month, that company $250,000 a month in 10 months, that one 550,000 a month in 14 months. There's a million things that go into scale. I just want you guys to know, and scaling looks differently for everyone based on their niche and offer, et cetera. But I want you guys to know, like, I can support you in that stage of growth. It's not like you hit 100K and I'm like, well, fuck, I don't know what we do now. It's like, I just went from 0 to 120K in 10 months. Like, I know how to scale these companies very quickly. So I'll be able to support you guys along the way so we don't stunt the growth. That's the key.
Yeah, 100%. I think right now it's just like we're in the just making money stage versus it being like a system. It is what it is, right? Just making money stage versus like it is a business in the sense that we have like some of the systems in place, but then on the back end too, like following up emails with people that didn't book, like and tracking that data. Like I fucking hate sheets and all that stuff, but like I'll do it if it makes it. We just never had that system in sense to like.
No.
We had ClickFunnels and stuff before, but it just didn't integrate well with what we were doing and everything. So, but yeah.
You guys just don't know what you even need. You're like, let's just make money. But I will be here to say, hey, like now is a good time or we need this. It's going to take you an hour to set up. It's going to cost you $59 a month. Like, let's get on a call. Let's set it up together. Let's make sure you guys are taken care of, because I've scaled so many of these companies. Like I have fitness coaches doing 70, 80, 100, $200,000 a month. So it's like, I know how to scale them. And even if they weren't fitness, it's all coaching is coaching, right? It's all pretty much the same. So I'll be there to point my finger like, hey guys, I'm just telling you, next month, this is going to become a bottleneck. Let's prevent it and solve this now. So I'm very proactive in our work together because I've done this. So I know what's coming down the track. And then you guys are, oh, fuck, I didn't really think about that. Like, yeah, let's fix that. Right. I want you guys to turn into business owners, not fitness coaches hustling to make the next buck. That makes sense?
100%. Yeah.
Any questions on any of those 3 steps? And again, mindset will be laced throughout our entire time working together.
Yeah, 100%. And so like in terms of fulfillment from what you're doing, like will it be like a course or is it going to be like how do you, that's my only question. I know you kind of can how that's going to work, but just in terms of like the actual deliverables of what that looks like, time per week, you said like you'll be there more to chat with us during times. Like what does that, look like?
Yeah. So we're going to partner up and work together for 8 weeks. Okay. In those 8 weeks, you're going to get a handful of things. At the highest level of touch point, we're going to have 5 one-on-one calls in those 8 weeks. So those are flexible. You'll have my calendar. When you need them, you'll book in, you'll use them. Right. So 5 one-on-one calls with me. It's 5 hours of my personal time undivided with you guys in the 8 weeks. On top of that, we have a group call once a week, every week for all 8 weeks. So I have 8 group calls where a bunch of other fitness coaches, career coaches, music coaches, you name it, they're in there. About 20 to 30 clients on those calls. Everybody's asking questions. It's probably similar to what you guys do on your group call. Other 6 and 7 figure coaches that you can learn from and go from there. You'll have 2 years access to my back-end modules. Okay. So for me sitting in the seat for the past 20,000 hours over the past 5 years, I've condensed it all down into about 6 hours of content. It's not start on video 1, watch through video 100, bye-bye, good luck. It's more of like, hey, you guys need this right now. It's going to take you 15 minutes. This is what you need. So it's more of a reusable resource portal where I'm showing you guys, hey, do you have a sales tracking spreadsheet? No? Okay, well, you need one. This is the module. Download it, use it. All right, so I'm pointing my finger along the way and showing you guys what's necessary today, and we ignore the rest so we're not wasting time. And then on top of that, we have Slack. And in Slack, you get two channels, wins, sales questions. So if you have a question, you can ask it in sales questions. If you have a win, you can share it in wins. Keep it very simple. That's how people are communicating with me day in and day out. They're either asking questions or they're sharing wins. Does that make sense? 5 one-on-ones, group call every week for 8 weeks, 2 years access to the modules, and then the Slack community as well.
Makes sense.
You guys write down for me?
Yeah, take some notes.
Any questions or all good?
No, so it's 8 weeks, so 2 months, right? And in that 8 weeks, you're saying that obviously not promising to make the 100K right then, but that's going to give, you're saying the skills exactly that's going to be delivered in that 8 weeks?
Yeah. Way beyond, like way sooner than the 8 weeks, but yes.
Okay, 100%.
People ask me all the time, hey, why isn't your program longer? It doesn't need to be. Like, shit, if you guys want the program to be 8 months, I'll make it 8 months. But at the end of the 8 months, you're going to have the same result. Because what I do happens very quickly. The ROI is very quickly. Like, we fix the sales script, close rate goes up. We review one of your calls, close rate goes up. We build systems, you get a bunch of your time back. So it's very straight to the point. It's not something like weight loss where it takes a bunch of time. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. And I've put enough people through the program to know that you don't need more time than that. And I'll give you a really quick example of that. Let me just find it quickly. Go find this. For 11th is the date today. Find this. Okay, here we go. So this lady hired me. Right. So on Friday, she said, don't want to jinx it, but I just signed another one today, full pay. But she said jinx it. So I thought she meant like the lady verbally committed but didn't pay. So I was like, did they not pay? I wouldn't count it as a win sale until they do, just to prevent getting let down, but sounds promising. She goes, oh no, they paid in full. Don't want to jinx it. I just meant this. I hope this winning streak doesn't stop. And I said, love it. So good. How much is your program again? 5,400, blah, blah. I gave a discount. So she did $9,900 contracted, $6,900 in cash. And I said, well, that was a quick ROI on my program. I need to raise my prices again. She said, unbelievably quick. It's only been 3 days. I'm 30% of the way through the modules and I've been on one group call. She had her first one-on-one call with me today. And she was on a dry streak for 6 weeks, hadn't closed a single deal in 6 weeks. She comes in and collects 6,900 and does 9,900 contracted 3 days into the program.
100%.
Like, this is why the program is 8 weeks, because it doesn't take that long.
For sure.
But yeah, Slack is cool, right? Because people are going to share wins. Just closed the PIF. She's probably the closest client to you guys. She does she's a bariatric coach for women. So people who like just had bariatric surgery and now they want to like keep the weight off. She's probably the most similar to you guys. But my other client, Luis, just won the Olympia, which is dope. Raise my price, 3K PIF, right? And this just scrolls and scrolls. 3K objectionless PIF, fitness coach, raise my price to 5Ks, close in 5 months, 1K per month for 5 months, 5K PIF, another close. Adrian, fitness coach, he's done like 80K a month. He's crushing it. Fitness coach for women, 5 out of 6 calls, 4K PIF. It's like, yeah, the wins are cool. A lot of people in here, like I said, fitness coaches doing their thing. So nice last day of the month, closing off at 82K, etc. You get the point.
Yeah, 100%.
Any other questions there for me, or can we dive into the numbers?
Yeah, I think we can dive into the numbers now, man.
$1 million.
So cheap for 8 weeks.
Not bad. No, it's either 2 payments of 5,500 or a one-time investment of just 9,800.
100%.
Yeah, and so for the 2 payments, how does that work?
Like, when is the second payment?
Sure.
This is in 30 days.
You want to do that?
Let's check through. And then in terms of turnaround, like when would we start working?
ASAP. You tell me. Yeah, so how it would work, right? We do the first 5,500 over the phone, email your receipt, and I'll get you access to everything like immediately. So you guys will have the modules. What I would recommend for you guys, okay, and I'll show it to you. But this is what I would recommend for you guys to do specifically is rip through one module. Okay, it's my RFPDP method module. That's really what you guys need. I know right now you're like, oh, systems, that's cool. Scale, that's cool. Like, we'll deal with that later. Fix the close rate first because we're leaving tens of thousands of dollars a month on the table. Let's focus on that. Let's fix that first. So if you guys rip through this module, it'll probably take you an hour. I mean, obviously watch like, the welcome videos, right? Take like 10 minutes. And then you just rip this one module, the RFPDP method. This will break down every section, the do's and don'ts. And you guys will look at your current scripts, which are kind of all over the place. And you'll look at this and be like, holy fuck, like this makes so much more sense. But because it's pre-recorded, even though fitness is the example I use in the modules, you guys are going to have questions. We book in our first one-on-one. I mean, it's Tuesday. We can do it on Thursday, or we can do it early next week, up to your schedule. And then we book our first one-on-one, and I will review what you guys have come up with, answer your questions. And by the end of that call, we'll have a polished script, picture perfect, ready to rock and roll to go out and seek and destroy. I have some examples, right? And then I have some bonus stuff in here, collecting credit cards over the phone, follow-ups, brevity, taking notes, small stuff. This is where you guys would want to start, kick things off.
And so you're saying that we would develop the sales script ourselves, or we go through it? Could you restate that again?
Yeah, so this is going to teach you my methodology. You guys could show up on a one-on-one with nothing, but as long as you understand my methodology, we can bang out a full script in an hour. Like you can literally show up with a blank Google Doc and we can bang out a script from scratch. But as you start going through this, right, it's going to give you the PDF download. So it's like this. So you guys are going to go and start building this out yourselves anyway. All right, here's the topics to cover. Do this first, do this last. Here's the questions to ask. And then you guys will kind of modify these for yourself. If you wanted to do all of this on a call, that's fine. I just want you to understand what each section means.
100%.
Does that make sense?
It does make sense. I guess the only thing, man, it's like, I'm just really curious about the turnaround, like how this would, I mean, like at the end of the day, like we would want to do it just to get better at our sales and everything. And it's funny being on the other end, but it's just like in general, like making sure that our system is in place so that it does work like long term. You know what I mean?
Not really, no. What do you mean? Explain it in a different
Like
way.
making sure that this isn't something that we jump into, because we've done like I said, other coaching programs before, but I don't want it to be like, I want to make sure that our sales game is just on point, like 100%. Like that's the biggest concern or biggest need that we want, is making sure that our sales game is on point, and like having that access. You said, the 5 calls over the course of the 8 weeks, and that's just a 1 hour time, and we come on there with any type of questions that we have. Like when does the reviewing the sales call part? I think that's the biggest thing too, is reviewing our sales calls that we've won already.
That's
And
call 2.
okay.
First call, we got to get you a script. I can review your call today and take us 6 hours to like nitpick through it all, right? So we do that one module so you guys can understand my methodology at the highest level. And just so you guys know, I'm very direct and straight to the point in the modules, and the feedback I get is stupid. Like, lady, I just had my first one-on-one call. She's like, look, I bought a lot of programs and they give me modules and I watch the first 1 or 2. It's a waste of my time and I don't go through any of it. I love your modules. And I get that feedback all the time. So you rip through the modules. We do our first one-on-one to finalize the script. You guys are both on the same page. And now we go out and apply it on a couple of calls. We book our next one-on-one and we review those calls and show you guys where you're missing the mark. From there, call 3, call 4 are probably going to be more call reviews, but we interlace the systems and, scaling those things into those calls. Just trust me when I say I've done this enough times. If you needed more support, I would give it to you. Client success is my #1 fucking priority. I don't care about anything else in my life except my clients succeeding. If I thought my clients needed 7 calls or 10 calls or 16 weeks, like I would just do it. But the reality is we work quick, we get shit done. I mean, you just don't need that much time.
100%. Oh, well, let's get to work then.
Are we going to do the 2 or the 1?
Let's do the 2 payments.
Okay. You guys have a card handy that you want to use?
Yeah.